My tablet says it's 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. It's great to see everybody here tonight, and just to let everybody know that Mayor Pro Tem Drew Sharp is not going to be with us tonight. He's got a knee, he's getting in a little bit of trouble, so he's not going to be with us, but we do have a forum here to act. We've got a fairly wide agenda tonight in terms of things that are on the agenda, but there are 5 items on the consent agenda. Any questions or comments about those?
Just in regards to the purchasing of the staff computers, I agree with recommendations that are made.
Okay. Any other questions? One thing that I think you all might be interested in is that one of the things on the consent agenda, if you haven't already seen the agenda, is to set our public hearing for our June meeting to receive citizen comments on our proposed 26-27 budget. And that budget is going to be on our website tomorrow for you to take a look at, and for you to look at, and please, if you have any questions or any thoughts about that, obviously you can come speak in the public hearing. Don't hesitate to call Brad or Amy or any of myself or any fellow council members if you have any questions about that. So, if there's no questions or comments, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second. All those there say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Franz?
Yes, sir.
Mayor.
Just a quick update on the line project out here on Main Street. We expect that the steel plated trenches will be paid in the next couple of weeks. And possibly can start Thursday, that's when rain's supposed to come in, but the contract for the project, that's our paving company, they'll soon be started. 2 grant applications that we did make that y'all approved at the last meeting, and maybe something back in August on those. And that, I don't have anything else to add other than Clay is still working with the state on closing out the documents on the sewer rehab project, and hopefully that'll be taken care of by summer's end. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm the one who was online today asking questions.
Okay.
How long is it gonna take to fix that road? Because this is really a bad inconvenience and it's very bad for our tires.
The steel plates,
Yes.
they've, what I was just telling
I
council.
understand you said that by the end of the month, but how long is it gonna take? 'Cause like in January, when I asked Brad, when were they gonna finish, he said by 15th of January, and no, that was not true.
The typical development in January. The water line project is complete other than the paving work. And
So are they gonna close down the road? I mean,
I don't know, they'll have,
I'm sure the community I thought I was the only one that had a problem with it, but apparently I'm not. But we need to know what is going on. I mean, we haven't heard anything, we don't know anything. They hold us up there forever when we got places to go. Is it gonna be a detour for us to take, or are they gonna close down the road?
I think one lane at a time.
We should be able to, right, the black people they really don't care if we're going or we don't. I've sat in that line for 15 minutes without a car coming by. I had to back my car up just to get out, so that really keep me on. So these
I'll pass
people,
that along to the contractor.
I mean, we live here,
I do too.
and right now, that makes us look like we're living together. That's terrible. If not enough people say Swepsonville is the ghetto, but now you guys are making us live like we're in the ghetto.
Hopefully the work will be done in the next 2 weeks.
like it, but we don't know why.
They probably don't know either.
I mean, when I first moved here, we had water problems. You know, and then we got the car problems, and now we got the road problems. I mean, I've already mentioned to you before, I mean, I'm ready to move out of the area, and I just moved here, and I love Swepsonville. But this keeps happening.
Well, that's a result of the project and improved water, and hopefully it'll be finished in the next 2 weeks.
Thanks, Franz. Okay, we've heard already that Brad is not here tonight, celebrating the kindergarten graduation. We've got the next item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have anybody who wants to speak to council tonight about anything?
I can say a really good thing about that steel plate there. While I don't like the steel plate, I really like that it slows people down over that thing.
Yeah, that, the speed, anecdotally, we don't go with those speed limit signs that help or hurt. I don't think they can hurt at all. I mean, but yeah, particularly there where that street's so.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that coming out of Hugh Doss. It's kind of a hope and prayer every time.
Are there any other comments?
I don't have any problem as far as the steel plates go. But I live next to the ball field.
I'm sorry, what?
I live next to the ball field,
Okay.
so I know what's going on over there at night. And it's not things that Swepsonville need to be famous for. Thank you very much.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think that you talked to Brad and Amy
Yes,
about
I
that before, and I think that,
I
again, without,
Franz asked me-
if you don't mind, let me finish. I may be able to address what you're concerned about. Is that we don't have a police force here,
I understand.
and we rely on the sheriff's department to patrol and look out after the town. So what I would urge you to do, if you see anything that you feel like is suspect or anything like that, I would urge you to call the sheriff's department and report it and have them look into it. I mean, without a police department, we can't do anything in that regard, but I think the sheriff's department has done an excellent job of providing service to the community, and we may get to a point where we're going to have a police department. But right now, and I've been on the council since 2017, we've not had people come to meetings and talk about a crime wave in town where we need to try to get a local law enforcement presence so far.
I don't have a problem with the sheriff's department. I don't have a problem with anybody. But my husband died in 2018. I'm a widow and I live literally my house. They won't take me to move my house in the park. It's a train link fence.
Sure.
And I see things because I have a large Belgian dog. And when the dog starts barking in the middle of the night because she's heard something that shouldn't be heard. And I know on the front of the building, it's marked plainly. No trespassing from 11 o'clock at night till 8 a.m. in the morning. It's right on the front of the building.
Sure.
Is it lit down there? Is it lit?
There's a light right there by the building. There's no reason that they can't see. I went to Brad, they had, I won't speak to the fact of, I'll just say they were inebriated. And they drove down into the park with 2 trucks with their lights on, pretending to play baseball. Well, when they were very loud,
Well, again, I don't mean to repeat myself, but I just simply think when something like that happens, you need to call the sheriff's department and report it, and they'll get a deputy out here to investigate. I don't know what else to tell you beyond that.
The deputies come, and they come with it. After my husband died, my daughter had a friend in the sheriff.
Sure.
And she went there, and for all the times that the sheriff was coming back in 2018 until, it was wonderful. I spoke with the sheriff, my son was a,
Right.
was a.
Are there other comments?
I have something to say. I live over there myself, and I can look directly into the park. And at night times, you can see people going down into the park, shuts our lights off, which is whatever they gotta do down there. But you can't call the cops every time, because then you call them every single day. We used to have them come, when you guys had baseball games out down there, we really didn't have this problem. At least I didn't see any of it. But then the police, even after the games, the police would come day and night, because they would use the restroom. Once those restrooms close down, we don't see them anymore. But you can't call them every single day.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with your premise that you can't call them every day. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be to the point where they don't come.
Well, I'm not
You're
going to debate that with
Yeah.
you, but what I'm saying is that we have no other mechanism to stop that right now. And let me just update you on the status of the park. Is that, as most of you who've been to meetings in the last few months know, that the events of July 6th caused us to have to rethink where things were positioned in that park. And we spent the last few months working through that and trying to move things around so that when that park is built, and if there is another, and you can call them 100-year or 500-year floods, that seem to be happening much more frequently, that we've not got things that can be destroyed by that area being flooded. We're at a point where we believe that at the June meeting that we're going to be able to vote to move forward on developing the design development for the park, which will take a few months, but we're really hopeful that we're going to be able to move forward on that, and those documents and things are completed, and get the project bid, that we can start moving dirt down there and get to work on that park.
Well, I understand that the park is still open.
I'm sorry, what?
When I talked to Brandon, he told me that the park is still open. I asked him about the blue plastic being taken down. He said, when the new park is built, there won't be any fences. Well, from my house, the whole south side of my house is windows. I can only see what they're doing, if they're doing it in the parking lot. Once they step out of those vehicles, and they're behind the blue, I can't see them.
Again,
I'm stuck, I have no problem calling the sheriff's department. 2 trucks, last week,
I don't know, I don't see it.
we're in the park. They got no business in there. When they're doing business of any kind, in the middle of the night, I'm talking 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. They're not up to any good.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think this is becoming a very circular conversation, and what I'm saying is that, number one, is that we, that we don't have law enforcement, so this is better served to ask the sheriff's department to take a look at it, and when something happens. And then, like I said, we're trying to move forward to get something down there that everybody's going to be happy with, and it's going to have, ways that people are not going to be able to access the park, drive into the park, like they currently are able to do.
Well, if they can drive into the park,
Okay, well, again, I think I said everything.
Properties are
I
wide
don't mean
open.
to interrupt, but I think I said everything that I can say about it. And I think I understand where you're coming from, and I've tried to respond to that. And, you know, some level, if that's not enough, I'm sorry, okay?
I'm just asking, as I asked Brad, until the town starts working on the park, to fix the other gate, the front gate.
Well, we can
So they
certainly,
can't drive.
well, I didn't know about any of this until about 12:30 this afternoon, about your business and things too. Okay, well, just let me finish, please. I didn't know about anything about this until 12:30 this afternoon. You know, we can certainly look to see if there's anything that we can do in the interim to make that, you know, make access to the park more secure. We'll look into that.
Thank you.
But I don't know enough to tell you right now what we can do and what we can't do, but we can look into that.
My privacy fence gates came down during the winter with the wind.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm going to seal it back up.
Appreciate you coming in and expressing yourself. Yes, sir.
That's what I mentioned about the lighting. You know, usually guys go hang out with it under cover darkness. They do this stuff. Not saying nobody won't shoot the light out, but you know, usually people go hang out places where they can't be seen or they're in the shadows and stuff like that. But then opposite side with the light, sometimes the light interfere with the community, the neighbors. They complain about the light shining at the window all night.
Yeah, that's just from one half dozen another, isn't
Trying
it?
to leave that to the problem. I don't know how well lit it is at night, but most people go out where they can't be seen and just be, you know.
Yeah.
Any lot has some lights, you know, the parking lot, but the ones in the field, they don't turn them on unless there's a game.
But
Any-
that'd be pretty expensive.
Any lighting at this point is gonna be an investment.
I bet you said it'd be pretty
And-
expensive.
Say again?
I said that would be pretty expensive putting on the baseball match or a game like that.
Any additional lighting, there's gonna be an expense, and being this close to what is going to be a complete renovation of that area, I don't know that it really makes the most sense. I think that, I know that it feels like calling the sheriff's department is only gonna be a reactionary type thing, but my presumption would be if the sheriff comes once or twice, people are gonna realize this isn't a place to hang out at 1 or 2 o'clock in the
All
morning.
they gotta do is see the sheriff. I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Well-
they say the sheriff, and I talked to him, I talked to the sheriff when he came. My son was an officer in that.
Well, let us, I will, like I said, I was not aware of this until 12:30 this afternoon of your visits, and so let me talk to Brad, and we'll, you know, we'll see if there's anything that we can do in the interim to try to discourage people from being there.
Get the sheriff over there.
Paul, you got something you want to say?
I just have a couple of things for you.
Okay, thank you.
One of the items we've been working on is public comments. And so that has sent me a draft. I've done a revision to that. It kind of captures the same ideas. It also puts all the statutory references in terms of how we are complying with state statutes as well. And you kind of have two different areas of public comments. One, kind of like what you're doing right now, is just general public comments at every meeting, and then public comments that might be done as part of a public hearing. I think the last thing that we kind of need some direction on is the sign-up sheet. And for a public hearing, sign-up sheet is very common because you usually have a lot of people speaking and you want to create some order to it. And that is normally done. The next question is, do you want a sign-up sheet for public comments or not? And that's really something for the council to decide whether or not you want a sign-up sheet for public comments in a general meeting platform. Okay? So all of those have 3-minute time limits, and it's designed to kind of limit the total to about 30 minutes for public comments. I know we don't usually run over 30 minutes for public comments, but I want to send revisions to Brad, and he can bring it back to you guys. But that's the one one item, just as, I think we do a sign-up sheet for public hearings, but not necessarily for, the public comments, but that's you guys, okay? That's the way I drafted it. When you review it, and Brad can put it on the agenda for next month, when we pass it there, we'll look at it again in July. I'll not be here in June, but I will, send that to Brad for a review.
Right.
Okay?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Just a follow-up question with that. Are y'all like proposing like requiring sign-up sheets to speak at like these general town meetings or?
Well, mainly the public hearings,
Okay.
and there's an officially noticed public hearing on a specific item, an agenda item, and there's a requirement for a public hearing to have a sign up for that. So
makes
that,
sense.
and what we're trying to do in part is, if you, a lot of times you get the same folks coming up over and over and over again, so kind of saying the same thing. You kind of condense those a little bit, and you can have a representative, get up and speak and maybe give them a little more time, but that takes 3 or 4 people off the list that are trying to say the same thing.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
I think you were at the public hearing sheets, right? That, I think that's what we're referring to as someplace where people would need to sign up. Either have a sign-up sheet at the meeting or even an opportunity to sign up in advance if you wanted to do that. But that's where we would ask for that sign-up for somebody to speak at that. But at these meetings, I personally, just as one council member, don't have a feeling that we need to have sign-up sheets for the kind of dialogue that we've had.
Okay. Is there, for those public forum meetings, is there an option that y'all could consider where, like, if you don't sign up ahead of time, you can reserve a spot, like, off to the side during the meeting or something? Because, like, at least what happened with the Sheets meeting, like, I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts at the beginning, and then I heard some points, and I had questions that I wish I could have asked during the designated speaking time. So it'd be really, I don't know, I'm just wondering if the sign-up sheet can be more mutable. It can be
Dynamic, I guess,
Yeah, more
is what you're
dynamic,
saying.
yeah. I just think that would be cool for people like me who might be more hesitant to speak, but eventually get the boldness to do so. I don't know, where, if you're already signed up, then maybe you don't get to speak again, but if you haven't already signed up, you can do so.
Well, that's something that we talked about in looking at this draft, and I think, that we try to address some of those things in.
Right.
And so,
So we'll circulate that to
Yeah.
council next month and kind of weigh those things out. And you're right, it's an absolute list. And you can't get up if you're gonna have them put your name on the list, or is it something where you can add people at the end? It's a difficult thing if you have 60 people sign up and they get 3 minutes each, right? You're gonna be here till the next day, right? So the idea is to limit kind of total time frame a little bit too.
does that make sense?
Yes, but thank you for considering that.
Yeah, I mean, I got elected council in 17, that's the first public hearing that we've had during the time I've been on the council that we had to kind of turn out. We had one other meeting where we had to turn out, but that was not a public hearing for a project. That was when the Quarry Hills development was built. Council voted to give the developer a waiver on the minimum street footage on lots. And that was not something that was subject to a public hearing, but it was a very spirited discussion. But so we want to learn from this going forward, because we want to do as good a job as we can to make sure everybody feels like they've been able to participate. So.
Then also, I think planning board would essentially use the same format, and our planning board is great, and those folks do a great job. I don't know that anybody much shows up at those meetings to speak to the planning board. It's a great opportunity for, because they look at it at a very, very technical level. So it's always speaking into those meetings too.
When are those?
When they have them, they're advertised.
Okay.
They're not all of the time, it's typically when they have something that comes before them as a proposal. Okay.
Anything else? Again, thank you all for coming out, and being involved citizens. That's very, very important. I'm very, very grateful for that. Council, any comments or things that you want to share tonight? Hearing none, do I hear a motion, please, adjourn? The second? All of us signify by standing up. Thank you.